and something like that to try to make sure that cars aren't driving, whatever.
Have proper signage up there, hanging on the things. Okay. Cool. Any other questions?
Have you reached out to the ballparks getting built over there? If instead of making these, maybe they let you use those.
So as being a 501(c), right, that would have to use nonprofit money to go rent fields, right? So to answer your question, no, I haven't had that
Spoken
conversation.
them all. Yeah.
No, we have not spoken to them tomorrow. Since we have a Parks and Rec budget, we feel like, from a Parks and Rec committee meeting we had a couple weeks ago, we thought that this would be a good opportunity so that if we did need to move and when we wanted to move the equipment to Nick's, we would have it available to us. So we're spending money now, but we're investing.
You can still use it over there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
This item will appear on the deliberation agenda. Are there any questions for me before we move on? Moving on. Next, we're getting into the rezoning application for the proposed Pecan Street Athletic Facility. Is Mr. Waskowitz here? Okay.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, come on
yes,
up.
please.
Yes, please.
I don't have this phenomenal presentation. So,
Well-
that was great.
Allow me to say real quick.
Yeah.
With the rezoning application, you can see on the left-hand side, we have the survey, really the plat for that land. On the right is an aerial view. This is across from the cemetery, and so this is the church, Grace Fellowship up here. You turn down on Pecan, you see the cemetery right here, and then here we are with the open field. This is the proposed layout of the field.
Like I said, I'm not as prepared. I hand drew that. Is it straight? Yeah. So I have some solutions to what Kevin just presented. I know that there's been talk around town about this being an athletic facility. That is not the intention of what we're doing. This is a passion project. This is for the kids in our community, and it's to build 2 baseball fields, an indoor practice facility for them, and a soccer field. I want to reiterate loud and clear, this is not a for-profit venture. This is not a business. This is for the kids and the overflow in our community. As Kevin mentioned, we're running out of practice facilities. We do not have an indoor facility, so right now all of our kids are traveling either to Justin or now Springtown. So that there where you see practice, does that say cage? Practice
Yeah.
cage, that building there will be a 5,900 square foot barn, to allow the kids some batting cages and some opportunities. So really at the end of the day, y'all, this is just, again, a passion project for the kids to give them access to a premier park. When we started in Pyra, I know Kevin has taken over. He was not there when we started, and he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, we don't know them, phenomenal. 20
Yeah.
years, we're sitting here frothing at what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can say, I'll tell you, dude, I don't know who you are, but we're sitting here bent that our kids didn't have that amazing field we drive past.
I appreciate that. It's not just me, but
Well, whatever, you're
Jesse's been involved with that, a lot of people in the community, a lot of coaches.
Listen, 20 years in the ditch, I guarantee that's a lot of work. It's amazing. It looks great. Somebody stepped up for them kids. It's great. And Jesse, you too.
So really all we're gonna do is just piggyback off that, and this is gonna be a premier facility, so these fields are gonna be, I don't have a better word than nice. They're gonna be well kept, well maintained, we're really gonna dress up that property, this is gonna be something that Paradise can be proud of, for our youth. It is gonna be open to Kevin, and I'll say right here, Kevin, you don't need to pay, your kids will have access to this, again, it's at no cost, so the 501(c), like I say, we're not looking to make money.
So you're not gonna charge for use of the fields?
We're gonna charge use of the fields for costs, right? But if Kevin says, hey, we have an overflow need, come practice. The goal is to not turn kids away, the goal is to bring kids and allow them a nice space to practice. So for 8 months out of the year, it's either raining, windy. We don't have a practice field, 110 degrees. And so I think this would be a nice opportunity for the kids to have
Amanda,
something.
Jesse, we came in this last ditch, and I wanna say something for Jesse. One thing about this, we live on honeysuckle, so we will be affected big time.
We're gonna get to the
No
part
more
of
than
that.
Grace, that this needs to go up. Hang on, I gotta go home to my military kid. He came into town, we lost a baby, we found out we're having twins. I don't have time for this drama, but he's a good man. Those kids need to be able to play there. And Grace Fellowship goes up and down that street all day long. He's not gonna cause any more drama. And the high schoolers, if we would've had that, the high school field's right there. Our boy, we wouldn't have to schlep to Decatur, come back here, get that kid at this batting cage. We could have just said, your brother's over there, when you're done, just walk through the fence. So no, it's not rocket science, and we love you, but we got to go. We're gonna go take care of our kids.
Thank you, Mama Schneck.
That's where the Schnecks are, we're down.
Peace out.
See you, Bill.
And then like, a big question, or a question I think will be proposed, is where we're gonna park. We're not gonna park in anybody's backyard. We're not gonna park behind Landon's house. We're not gonna park next to the Moody's. We're not gonna park there. We have a shared agreement with the high school because the high school kids also are gonna have access to this facility alongside us. So we have a shared agreement with the high school. So we will have a shared parking lot. We will help them maintain and add dirt to the existing parking lot. So we're not changing any parking. Again, an effort to help the high school kids and let them, at the end of the day, I got tired of just walking in the Kelly gym and seeing softball players taking softballs off of a gym floor. I mean, I want them to have something, again, something that they're proud of, a good place to practice. So is there any?
Is there gonna be outdoor lighting to this?
May I pause for a second?
Yes.
Because we're going to have the hearing in a few minutes, and that's when everyone can get in and ask their questions.
Yeah.
This is just a brief.
Oh, just a brief. Okay.
So,
We're gonna get to the hearing.
Just a
Thank
brief.
you so much.
Not gonna forget it. It's in the line.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions from the council?
The arrows, are those the drainage or something?
Would you clarify on whether those arrows are drainage?
Say again, I'm sorry?
Would you?
Yes, the arrows are drainage, and we just had 4 inches of rain, and it works great.
Any other questions? Moving on. The next item that we have is a brief over the West Fork Public Utility Agency. And so the council has been briefed a few times on this topic. You all recall that with this most recent Texas State Legislature, the Wise County Mayor's Coalition tried to get legislation passed to create a special utility district. However, that bill failed. And so we were not able to create the utility district that we were looking to do. So in place of that district, the various municipalities across Wise County and the special utility districts that already exist across Wise County are joining together to form what's called a public utility agency. A public utility agency accomplishes basically the same things that would have been accomplished with the special utility district. It just draws its authority from slightly different sources within the law. The purpose of the PUA would be to serve as a county-wide effort to bring more water resources into Wise County. The PUA, once it's created, does not have taxing authority. The way that the PUA gets money is by issuing revenue bonds. And so they issue debt backed by the revenues that they anticipate from the water that they're going to sell. Okay, so just to establish no taxing authority for the PUA. These are the groups that are participating in the PUA. Practically every city of any size in Wise County, as well as Walnut Creek Sud, Rolling V Mud, which is now Reunions, I believe, New Fairview Mud, and West Wise Sud. And so this really is, I'm sorry?
And the county. The county's.
And the county itself.
County itself.
County Court also is participating in this effort. And so it really is a county-wide effort. However, at first, because nothing's been built yet, the PUA is not going to have any revenue, so they're not going to have any money to spend. And so all the various cities within Wise County are going to need to chip in a little bit to keep the organization afloat until they can get enough administration on the ground to issue bonds. And so the different cities in Wise County are going to contribute a certain amount of money to the PUA. It was calculated differently for every city based on our population and our land area. I believe the largest one was Decatur at $40,000 a year. I believe that Walnut Creek Sud is contributing something like $80,000 a year. The price that's being requested of the City of Paradise is $5,700 annually. That money will be held in accounting by the PUA, and once the PUA gets on its feet, we will be repaid the money that we invested into the PUA, okay? Either in cash or in credit towards future infrastructure projects. Okay. In return for the annual participation that we offer, we receive a vote on the board of the PUA. And so when people begin building pipes and they wonder where these pipes ought to go, if we participate, we'll have someone on the board to say, well, it needs to go north to Paradise, Decatur, Bridgeport, Alvord, Chico. All right? If we don't have somebody on the board, well, it might end up only going to New Fairview, Rome, Aurora, Newark, Boyd. Okay? And so it's to our advantage to have a member on the board. This item is going to appear on the deliberation agenda. Do you have any questions for me?
How will we determine who the person on the board is going to be?
The person on the board can be anyone who lives within city limits and is appointed by the.
Broaden that some, just has to be a registered voter.
Doesn't he have to be a
It
registered?
cannot be an elected official, they need to be a registered voter, and it can be a staff member, I believe.
It can be.
So we will put out something to the city and see if anybody's interested, and then, but ultimately, the council will appoint who our members is. And if for some reason we don't think they're doing a good job, we can replace them. It's the council will appoint, everybody who participates will appoint their representative to the board.
And the council will be able to appoint and withdraw their board member at will. And so it may happen that as y'all are searching for a good board member, maybe y'all stick me in there as a stopgap. And so that's one way forward. That's a great question, sir. Are there any other questions? Okay, this will appear on the deliberation agenda. Moving on. Texas Commission on Environmental Quality Permit Application. So the city has applied for a wastewater discharge permit with the TCEQ. In order to get the TCEQ permit approved, we have to give notification to the public. The public then has an opportunity to ask for a public meeting. That has happened. Okay. And so members of the public have reached out to our Texas Legislature Representative Andy Hopper. Andy Hopper reached out to the TCEQ and informed them that yes, he does want to see a public meeting happen. That public meeting is going to happen on January 13th. January 13th at either 6 or 7 p.m. The location for that event is not yet nailed down. However, I've been talking to Superintendent Gibson over at PISD, and she has agreed in principle to share one of their cafeterias with us for this meeting, and almost certainly it's going to be in one of their cafeterias. Okay. So just to refresh your memory, we have a very preliminary design. This is not an engineered design, but this is a basic layout for the wastewater package plant that could go at the land that the city owns at Leon. Previously, residents have expressed concerns about the treated wastewater being released across their property. And so what we're seeing here is a preliminary draft of where we would pipe that water underground through an easement across these properties into this the tributary of the West Fork of the Trinity River. Okay, so just to clarify, the plan that the city is proposing, if this were to be built, It's gonna be very expensive if it is built, and so we'd have to work that out. But if it were to be built, the treated wastewater would be piped underground across this land eastward, so that could be released directly into this tributary. Once again, that meeting's happening on January 13th. Do I have any questions? This item does not appear on consent or deliberation. It's just an update for you and for the public.
We're still looking at regional solutions that would not require us to even build this, but, you know, got a plan
Well, we have to have this just to even entertain the idea, correct?
to even entertain the idea. Yes, you have to start somewhere. So as if you heard, even the grant administrator said there's a lot of things you have to do to line up, to plan, to do, to apply to stuff. This is one of those many things.
Are there any questions? Thank you very much. Moving into administrative items, I'm trying to keep it quick. There are 4 items that are going to appear on later on in this agenda. These first 3 items are consent items. This last one is a deliberation item. So the first 3 consent items. Calendar year 2026. Every year we publish an administrative calendar that says when the meetings are going to be. Okay, that's the calendar that's up for consent approval right now. Pardon me, I need to plug in my computer.
Yeah.
So, hang on. I apologize. One moment.
I'm drive from over there.
Y'all seen the movie Heartbreak Ridge?
I love that movie.
Yep. That would be a DVD.
Gotta improvise. Adapt.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
One moment. Gunny Highway.
Like you were a
No, don't say that. I apologize. Okay. All right, so we have the annual calendar that we need to approve for the upcoming year. Very straightforward. The second thing is the employee health reimbursement agreement policy. With the budget that y'all approved last month, there was money set aside to pay for employees' health expenses. That is what this money is. And so we need to have a policy that governs which health expenses are reimbursable and which ones aren't. It's boilerplate. I've presented a draft of that in your council packet, and that is up for consent. The third item is the TMRS. So TMRS is our retirement system. The restricted prior service credit just says that if you're a military veteran and you join up with a city that has TMRS, you can count your military time towards your retirement. It's not extra money, but it's extra time credit towards the 20 years that you need to retire. And so TMRS offers this credit, but we as a city have to approve them to do that, and so that's what this item is. This is on consent as well. The final item is for an updated mowing contract. This is a mowing contract with Mr. Brett Fuller. Mr. Brett Fuller does all of our mowing. Normally it takes him about, we normally end up paying him about $8,500 a year to mow our various city properties. We have asked him to add on the alleyways within the city. We've had some resident complaints that they want to see more care taken in the alleyways. And so he has quoted us a price of $15,000 annually. It's about twice the work. It's cheaper than a lot of other options that we were able to encounter. And so on including tree trimming.
Yes.
Yes. And so on the deliberation agenda is the $15,000 proposed mowing contract with Mr. Brett Fuller. Do I have any questions about these 4 items? Okay.
Thank you very much. Right now we've come to citizens communications. Do we have anyone sign up for citizens communication?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Who do we have?
It's from Windmill Ridge. I don't know if they're still here. That may have been from this month.
Not sure. Well, let's see. Oh, Mr. Meltzer, are you still here? Mr. Meltzer has gone. And Mr. Hickman, are you still here? Oh, there you are. Okay. Well,
I go in his place, his wife.
absolutely. we can remind you that this will be under the 3-minute time limit.
Jennifer Hickman. Thank you for your time and consideration. A couple things I'm concerned about, the wastewater treatment. I'm concerned about what's gonna happen to everyone's properties who's already got septic. So why are we considering this if the entire town of Paradise already has septic? So,
Yeah, well, there are a lot of areas that, especially here, that have the really small lots and old that need the service for sure. The initial idea is to service this older part of town that have the super small lots and the really old stuff, and to capture Main Street and 114 to bring in more businesses for sales tax revenue. So initially, and of course the school, to get the school off of their older package plant and on a newer system. So in a perfect world, we'll be able to capture those and leave the newer stuff alone. However, it's gonna all come down to actual implementation later on. So I can't say for sure that's what's gonna happen. I can tell you that is the goal and the hope that that is how we can implement it.
is this all part of plans to expand and grow Paradise?
No, this is only taking care of what we have now.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, I would hope that the council would consider scheduling a meeting with the residents of Windmill Ridge so that we can talk about this where we're not confined to 3 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever is going on. We obviously need to find some kind of solution. It's not gonna happen in these public forums apparently. So I hope the council would consider finding time for a meeting in the evening because a lot of us do have to work normal hours and we would like to be part of this discussion, try to find some kind of resolution. I have to say, Mayor Black, I'm concerned about scheduling a meeting with you because you've made it very clear that you've closed your mind on this issue and you're not gonna change it. So I'm concerned that you're not being open-minded about this at all. And I hope the rest of the council is at least gonna try to keep their minds open. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. So we have no one else signed up for public communication, so we will close that section. Moving on to the consent agenda.
On the consent agenda, there are 2 pages here. The first item is the approval of the city council minutes from the last council meeting, the last regular council meeting. Item B is minutes from the strategic planning retreat. Item C is minutes from the special council meeting that followed. Item D is the updated annual calendar with all of our meeting dates. Item E is the healthcare reimbursement agreement for the employees. Item F is the prior service credit for TMRS. Item G is signatory authority for the CDBG grant. Item H is the required civil rights policies for the CDBG grant. And Mayor, I request that we remove item I because we are still pending fee negotiations for engineering services for the CDBG.
All right, so I need a motion to approve consent agenda items A through H. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve items A through H.
I've got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it passes unanimously.
Moving on to our deliberation items. This is the public hearing to discuss the rezoning of the Pecan Street ball field.
All right, so we'll open the public hearing for the rezoning of the Pecan Street Ball Field at 7:50 p.m. At this point, would anybody like to address the council regarding this item?
Well, there was a question about the lighting.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna get to people in person before we.
I do have
We do?
something that was emailed to me.
Okay, we have, yes. So you wanna just go ahead and do that one first?
That's fine. This is from Teresa Moody. She says she is against approving the Pecan Street park zoning change. My concerns are increased traffic, noise, lights shining into homes, unpatrolled access that lead to vandalism and adjacent properties, potential drainage issues, and unknown but possible adverse property evaluations and taxes. Please take the concerns of the affected property owners seriously and vote against the proposed zoning change.
Okay, so that comment has been heard. Anyone else like to speak in the public hearing on this?
Are there, how many lights are gonna be out in this area?
Hey Mandy, could you do me a favor and come up and introduce yourself for the record, please? I mean, I know who you are, but you know.
Good. My name is Mandy Harris, and we have been in Paradise for 25 years. And 114 is a high traffic, or Honeysuckle is a high trafficked road. Okay? Whether it be for the church, the ball fields, okay, it doesn't matter. But this right here is gonna be a more impact of our traffic. We put up a fence years ago because of people that speed down our road. And so if there's a vote on it, my vote is no.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
One quick, Mandy, I'm worried about the traffic.
Can you come up and say your name and introduce yourself for the record, please?
I'm Sharon Tipton. And I had the same concerns as Mandy does. I live right next to that property that they want to put this facility in. And I don't have any objections to kids having something like that, but we're in a residential area. And I don't know if that's gonna be good for the neighbors. And it's gonna bring more noise, more traffic. Honeysuckle now is overwhelmed because of Grace and the ball fields and the lights from the ball fields. It just lights up my backyard now. But like I said, I mean, I'm not objecting to a facility like this for the kids. I just think it's in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Answer those questions.
Yeah, you sure can.
Yeah, so our proposal is not to increase traffic. These are kids in our community that already go to school and are driving by your houses. The entrance is on school property. And the reason we like this property is because the kids do not have to leave school to walk to the facility to get to this property. So they can get out of school and come use this facility. So in some cases, or, you know, contrary to that belief, there might be less traffic. So again, it's,
From the ballpark, lights up my whole backyard.
You're talking about the high school baseball field?
the high school baseball field.
Yes.
And how,
Will your field have lights?
we've proposed lights, yes, but how often are those lights on and what is the shut-off time?
Ball season going.
And so how often is that year-round, would you?
It starts the last Monday of January and then runs till about middle of April.
Yeah.
What about hours of operation?
Hours of operation, I mean, I don't have an answer for that. I mean, as the kids need it, right? I mean, I would assume our last practice would be 7 o'clock, but as you heard Kevin mention earlier, with the kids needing somewhere to practice in our community, you know, that would be on an as-needed basis, and we would open it up to them. And work with everybody who lives near the property to make sure, you know, we're working with them and not against them. Our goal is not to come out and light up the neighborhood year-round. Our goal is to, if it's 5:30, you know, in the winter, and if we need to use the facility to practice, we would use the facility to practice. It would not be on all night.
Is this for Pyra kids? Or, high school kids that are playing baseball? I suspect they could use it, but if it's during baseball season, they're gonna be occupied.
The baseball fields, or?
They'll be occupied practicing, doing whatever.
Yes, the building's gonna be open to
I'm
pirate
talking about the
kids.
high school kid. This is primarily for the youngsters, the little ones.
Yes, the initial offering is for the youngsters, but it's going to overflow. We're gonna have plenty of time to accommodate the high school kids for the indoor facility, yes.
There's also an uptick in
The
select.
indoor facility.
An indoor facility, yes. So again, the overall goal here is to give our kids a select or an upgraded baseball experience, you know, with this facility and accommodate the need for overflow.
Anybody else wants to participate before we close the public comment? Okay, that's why I asked.
Okay. Landon Smith, and so I live on the corner of Pecan and Honeysuckle. I will say the baseball fields and softball fields at the high school, yeah, those lots are broad, but I don't think they're positioned correctly either. I don't think that was engineered correctly. Even at Leone Park, the way the lots are positioned, they more, or their lot pollution is more horizontal, whereas nowadays the fields that I've seen we've played on, the lots are more vertical. And so you don't have a lot of overflow of lot pollution. Like it really stops at the fence line. I don't know, if you've been to a new facility, you can see that. So I do think the lot pollution will be minimal. Strategically, it's a good spot because, you know, obviously the cemetery's right there. There's not gonna be residents bothered on that side. To the south, to the school, no one's gonna be bothered on that side. Miss Tipton and Miss Moody's property, yes, it's there, but their houses are on Honeysuckle. All of our entrance and everything's gonna be coming off the school property, so.
Their houses are facing west.
Sir?
Their houses are facing west.
Their houses are facing north, just like mine.
North.
Yes, sir.
What are those two buildings, that green thing and that blue thing? Are those homes right there?
So that green thing is a AstroTurf field. The black thing is the roof of my home.
That's not part of it, though.
That's not part, that's my residence.
That's his backyard.
I'm just trying to.
He gets out there and puts on the jersey and throws it around.
We have a turf soccer field back there. Yeah, I already have turf, but
So the property's directly behind his house.
Okay.
so.
What's across the street beside the cemetery? Are those houses up there?
It's the black property, used to be the Musgrove property.
No, the aluminum looking roof stuff.
To the top left,
There's a house.
that's the black property, it used to be Musgrove.
People,
Sir?
people live there, right?
His son, Kurt's son lives there, I believe.
So everybody else is down,
Well, to the right.
Honeysuckle.
Is Miss Tipton.
Across Honeysuckle and then on this side of the.
Is Schneck's, I believe.
And this is a private investment, we're not asking the city for money, we're not asking the EDC for money. This would be, again, a private investment, passion project. For the kids.
Okay. Anybody else before we close the public hearing? And the public hearing is now closed, 7:59. Thank you all for participating.
The next item on the deliberation agenda is to consider approval of the updated city strategic plan.
We've already discussed it, reviewed it. If there aren't any more questions or discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve the new strategic plan.
I make a motion, Mayor, that we approve of this.
I have a motion, is there a second? Oh, the Cody's are, I'm gonna give it to Cody Cook. All right, I've got a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Motion passes unanimously.
The next item on our deliberation agenda is considering the approval of the proposed ball fields at Cedar Bend.
That's over by the tanks, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cody, what?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I've got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor? I'm asking for the vote part. I got a 4, any nays or extensions? Nay, I got, motion carries 4-1. Okay, next up,
The next item that we have is to consider the proposed contract with public management for their assistance to pursue a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant application.
this is the one that comes with the $7,500 fee up front. There's still a lot of work to be done. Some of it will be done out of the other grant as well. But this is how we build parks. So I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the Public Management Incorporated. Get
All right.
money.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passed unanimously. This is the exciting one, everybody.
Next, we have an ordinance to consider creating the West Fork Public Utility Agency.
This enshrines our participation in this massive effort that the county and the mayors have been working on for the last 2 years.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve our participation in the formation of the West Fork Public Utility District or Agency. Apologies. All in favor? And motion passes unanimously. That's when we should have the confetti cannon. Dadgummit. Missed opportunity.
This is the final item for the night. This is to consider the proposed contract for mowing services with Mr. Brett Fuller for the amount of $15,000 a year.
I said when we could do better, we'd be better, so this is one of those things, taking a step forward to
I'll
help.
make a motion that we go ahead and approve it.
All right, I got a motion to approve that mowing contract. Is there a second?
Either that or Cody's second.
And I've got a second. All in favor? And passes unanimously, pretty much. Okay, this time we do have some other housekeeping. So we are going to, in accordance with local government code, chapter 551.071, consultation with attorney, and 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, we are going to go into executive session at 8:02 p.m.